Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm very excited to be sharing with you my October favorites. So as I'm filming this, we're actually at the beginning of November now, which honestly makes it feel like the year has gone by so fast. But I figured I would share with you some of the things that I've really been enjoying over the last, I would say, month or two, because I haven't actually filmed one of these for the month of September. So there's fashion pieces, skincare, body care, a little bit of homeware, accessories. There's quite a variety, which is something that I like doing in these videos. I even usually have sort of like the tea that I'm having, though in this video I don't because I haven't had the time. But I do enjoy having lots of different categories in this video, though it would be really helpful to hear if you enjoy this or if you prefer for it to be specifically fashion favorites. Let me know, but there is, I would say the majority of this video is still fashion focused. I also want to say thank you so much for all your positive feedback on my last video, which was actually a vlog, and it was 1 hour 25 minutes. Quite a long vlog, and actually the reason I was away for so long is because I had that vlog to edit, and because I'm editing by myself, it took quite a while, and then after posting it, I had just spent so long editing it that I took a bit of like a 1 week break. But now I'm finally back, and I figured what better way than to share with you some of my favorites. If you have already been following me either on Instagram or TikTok, then you would have already seen some of these pieces styled, or if it's the homeware pieces, you would have seen, sometimes I share sort of like the tablescape, so you would have seen some of these things already, and then some of them are newer. Actually, quite a few pieces in this video you might not have seen before, maybe some of them, but the reason for that is where I haven't filmed a collective haul, you haven't seen some of the newer pieces that came into my closet even 3 or 4 months ago, and so now I'm sharing in a video like this. But I will be doing a what's new in my wardrobe video, not next week but the following week. But it would also be great to hear if you prefer to watch the what's new in my closet sort of videos versus styling videos where maybe you get to see, say, 20 outfits for the autumn winter months, or do you prefer favorites videos so that I can improve the videos and make sure that they're not just enjoyable for me to film but also for you to watch. But with that being said, I do just want to jump straight on into this video. Starting off with the fashion category, I did decide to put all the brands together. So for example, I have 2 pieces from Róhe that have been my favorites, and so I decided to feature them together as opposed to separately in the video, just to make it easier also for me to share. The first piece that I've really been loving, and it is newer in my closet, but it's already a favorite because I've known about this piece since I think it's February or March of this year, because I was actually in Paris back then for one of the showrooms that Rahi did. I actually also did go to one of their recent ones. You would have seen that in last week's video, and actually some of these pieces you would have seen in that vlog already because they're part of my day-to-day life. But this is actually a shearling coat, which I absolutely love, and I remember when I first saw it back then, and I had to obviously wait until it launched. I have been able to see some of the collections that are launching for not just next year but also even November of this year, and there are some really incredible pieces. I feel like fashion right now, there's loads of styles that are being launched across several brands that I really like. I guess brands are sort of catching on, but I think it's my style anyway, so I'm just having lots of fun. But this is, like I said, a shearling coat. I'm not going to mention too much detail about everything because I will be featuring some of these in an upcoming haul, but this is in a size small, and the only thing I would say about this, if you're getting it, is to size down. I'm usually a size small, but actually for this, I think if I wanted something slightly more fitted, I would have gone for a size extra small, but that's not in stock. So this one is just as good, and I think for the winter it works out really well that it's slightly, not oversized, maybe boxy is the right word, but I really love the color, and it's just, I mean, you can open it up. It's quite a heavyweight coat, which is to be expected. I had also tried on some of the Totem shearling coats, you know, the ones that everybody wore quite a bit. I did go in when the Totem store opened on Mount Street. I went in and tried on that coat, and it's quite heavy, so it's definitely not something that I would wear indoors. It's definitely something you have to take out when you're indoors because it's quite warm. I'm just showing you the inside. It's like this, and then it's, you can either have it with the top sort of like folded over or a high neck. I prefer a high neck, but this is just so gorgeous with black trousers, white trousers, pretty much anything. Now, another thing I'm going to make sure in the description box alongside the sizing and the links to everything that I share and mention is I'll also include anywhere where a piece is actually a PR item or a gifted item, ad/PR. Like I always mention, it's not an advertisement in the sense of a paid for advertisement. I'm not being paid to show these items. if you've been watching the channel for long enough, you'll know how much I love all the brands I'm going to share, but especially Róhe, and I actually am a customer first, and then it captured the attention of the brand, and we've since been able to build a really lovely relationship. So I just wanted to mention that, even though I usually do that for my hauls, it's on all of my videos in case you want to check. And then the other favorite from Róhe is actually from the Mandarin jacket collection. I have already got one, which is the double-faced wool, which I really love in black, and it also does come in cream, but I didn't want to get the same item just in a different color. Whilst that does work sometimes, I find that when I do that, oftentimes I end up picking one over the other, so I just pick the one that I actually know I'm going to get lots of wear out of. So because of that, I knew that this one, it's a completely different material actually, and I've got the matching trousers for it. It's quite hard to show trousers anyways if I'm holding it up, so I didn't bring it to show, but I'll put up a picture of the last time that I've worn this, and I wore it with my Destry bag, a hat that I'm going to show you because I actually really unexpectedly love this hat. This is a piece that I really love, and I think also styled with black bias cut trousers, flip-flop sandals. I've seen quite a bit of styling. There's a bag from Elborn. In next week's video, I'm going to share with you a wish list, so I will talk more on the pieces that I'm really interested in adding to my collection. But Elborn has a bag, and you've probably seen it. It's quite reminiscent of the Róhe Margot. However, it has sort of like it kind of is, for me, the mix between the Róhe Margot and the Metier Private Eye collection. I think that's what it's called. It kind of really reminds me of that, but they actually came out with a mini version, so the bag is smaller. I think it would pair really well with something like this, and like I said, bias cut trousers, flip-flop sandals, and it also has these side slits so you can put your hands in your pocket and create some shape and movement. There's actually quite a few newer pieces from Róhe in my collection, and you would have seen in my last video as well that I got the chance to go to their showroom in Paris, and I got to see a lot of the new launches, and it's so exciting. And I think I will mention anyways some of the pieces I saw in Paris because they are my favorites already. I feel like over the years I've become quite quick to know when something is going to be my favorite, but Camilla and Mark, Róhe, like so many incredible collections. Verified, there's a bag that actually launches November. There is just so much excitement going on, and I'm just so happy about it because I also remember a time when I used to go online and I just couldn't find anything that I liked, and now it feels like there's quite the abundance of brands creating things that are exciting for me. I will also share the size in the description box. It's probably in a size 34 because that's my usual size with Róhe. The next favourite of mine are a pair of jeans that I've had now for quite some time, but every single time I share it, I get at least a few questions about it because of the fit, and just they are really my perfect jeans. For me at the moment, I'm still on the hunt for the perfect boyfriend jeans in that perfect off-white ecru color. I still haven't completely found it. One that I can wear with a long sleeve white t-shirt, a belt, and maybe some flip-flop sandals and a simple black bag or a suede bag. I still haven't found those jeans. Now, having said that, I kind of have, but I haven't tried them on yet to see whether or not they would fit the same how they show in the picture. I will share it with you because it's a brand that I've discovered recently. So I also figured in these videos it would be a great idea to share brands that I've discovered because I feel like a lot of you like it when I share brands that are still under the radar or underrated, and I love sharing it. So I figured I would share that brand also because it comes under the topic of the jeans I'm talking about. But these ones in particular are from Stylin, and if I'm not wrong, they are the Kim jeans. These ones are in a size 24, and I absolutely love wearing these. Actually recently styled this. You would have seen it in my vlog as well, but I haven't had the chance to go back to that vlog and add all the links to the description box. So I'm doing it here first, and then I'll go back to that vlog and add all the links. But I loved styling this with a black shirt, also from Stylin, and then my Hermes mini H belt, and then some slingback pumps. The only thing that I think is a downside about any dark denim jean is that the transfer onto your skin. Now, it's not noticeable. It's not like your legs. I mean, then again, I think if you've got a paler skin than mine, then you might find that you can see it on your skin. I don't find that to be the case. It's mostly just when you go in to shower, you can just, it's blue a little bit. That's the only thing, but I found that to be the case with all of the jeans of this dye color. I found that to happen, so I think it's one of those things that just keep it as a precaution and don't get home from wearing this and then get straight into, say, an ivory white silk pair of pajamas, because you will ruin them. As long as you shower after wearing these and wash your legs properly, then you should be fine. But I think nothing beats this style. It's just the perfect straight leg, and the crotch area of these is lovely. In case you're wondering, I am 5'6". I'm so used to saying 5'6" with long legs. I did get a message where someone said, why on earth do you mention long legs? And I thought it was obvious why, which is just the fact that it helps with proportion, because there are some people who are 5'6", but they might have a longer torso, or so I always mention the long legs because you might get the jeans and then they're too long for you. So I never want that to be something that I don't mention. But basically it's the inseam of my leg. So you might notice that when I get certain items, for example, I have a pair of bias cut elasticated waistband trousers from Almada Label. Now the champagne ones have a perfect short crotch area, but then I got a cream pair and they had a longer crotch area. If you are 5'6" but you've got shorter legs or a shorter inseam, then you'll actually love those. They will be perfect for you. So me saying, oh, I'm 5'6" and it fit me like this isn't actually accurate. So that's why I mention it. I really hope that it wasn't something that I was saying that lots of people were like, why is she saying that? I figured that that was making sense, but a couple of months ago I heard someone say it better than I have, which is that they have a long leg inseam. And then the next item is more one to mention because I feel like I've shown it in so many videos already, which is my Saxon skirt from Kate. I love that skirt so much. I figured I'm not going to show it again because I share it in so many of my videos, like my best purchases, best luxury purchases, favorites videos. It's in almost every video, but it's because I really get a lot of wear out of it. Surprisingly, it's definitely one of those statement-esque pieces, and I actually recently styled it with a top that I'm going to show you next in Monaco when we went to the opera gallery, the art gallery, and my Bottega Veneta clutch. A lot of things I feel like sometimes I do get a message or two from someone asking, hey, you haven't mentioned this piece in a while, or I haven't seen it in a while, do you still wear it? And I still wear all my things. It's just that I'm not always photographing in them, or as you've probably seen, I haven't been the most consistent at all times in the past on YouTube, and so sometimes you won't see that I'm wearing the pieces, but I definitely am. With that skirt, it's something that I love wearing. It's just always such a statement piece. For example, next week I have an event and it's between an art gallery and a diamond jewelry brand, and so it's one of those things where I want to wear something like that. I think the dress code is something like cocktail chic, and that's just perfect for that sort of dress code because it's something with a flair. And anytime I think of art gallery, I think of just wear something with a flair. Like there's something I'm going to mention in next week's video. It's from Oscar de la Renta and it's just this gorgeous blazer with these feathers. The week that I saw it, it was also Frieze Art Week, and something in me is just like, wow, I would love to wear that, even with a pair of jeans, a pochette bag and some pumps, dressing it down, but it's still an item that's a statement piece, and I've really been loving that. There's also a piece that I might as well mention now because I was going to mention it in this video anyways. Something I recently obviously tried on and saw that I have fallen in love with and I can't wait for it to launch is the Camilla & Marc polka dot coat. It's just gorgeous. You would have seen it in last week's video or over on my Instagram or TikTok, but I just absolutely love that piece. And I think recently I've been getting more into statement pieces that are still minimal, or statement pieces that are still basic, if that makes sense, in a way that I can style it with my basics and dress it down. It's not one of those statement pieces that you can only wear once a year because it's got Santa Claus or something, you know. It's like, it's one of those statement pieces that you can easily integrate into your everyday wardrobe if you're looking for something a little bit more but not too much. So that's an item that I'm really excited about. I clearly can't stop thinking about it that I couldn't even follow the structure of this video without mentioning it. The next item is also, like I mentioned, one that I wore with the Kate Saxon skirt recently, and it's from Massimo Dutti. I've mentioned this a few times here and there. I also wore it in Epernay when we went to the vineyard. I wore this with a pair of linen trousers from Align that I've had for 3-4 years. It's been quite a while, but I love this so much. And whilst it is sold out because it's a Massimo Dutti studio collection and it was one of those limited drops, I have found something similar before from Henne and Alex Riviere's studio. So if any of them are still available, I will leave it linked down below in case you want the same look. It's not going to be the same exact item, and some of them have different compositions than this one, which is a 100% linen, and it's just such a thick linen, but they are similar in style at least. And I think it would also pair really well. Do you know where my voice is going? I need to get some water. But with my Bermuda shorts from Almada Label, which are also in this video. Before we get on to the Bermuda shorts, this is actually something that I got not recently, a couple of months ago, but I got quite a few questions about it and I don't think I ever got the chance to link to it. This is actually from Lily Silk and I actually picked this up myself. I was debating between one that had a sheen to it versus this one which has more of a woolly appearance to it. They're both cashmere, it's just the different ways in which you can get cashmere. So I at first thought I wanted that sheen finish because I actually bought this as a replacement for my Theory version. So I've had one from Theory for quite a few years and I put it in the wash and it shrunk and I haven't been able to get it back to its original form. It looks too small for me. So I figured rather than getting the same item twice, also because I feel like I got a bit lucky with the Theory, I bought it and when I got it, I must have done something to it and it became quite a fluffy, cashmere-y kind of, even though that one was a merino wool blend, it was quite fluffy. But then I actually got the navy blue version and it was a sheen and that's the same exact piece. Maybe I hand washed it or something. So I knew that I actually couldn't buy back that top. So I figured, you know what, let me buy what I'm looking for, which is something that has that kind of fluffy appearance and is soft and it's cashmere. This is how it looks and then it has the little silver. I love that I'm sharing this as a haul. This has been a favorite of mine, wearing it with my Andiata off-white trousers with Oran sandals and my Bali Deco daily. I wore it in Monaco. Really love it. It's just such a casual piece and then I love styling it with bias cut elasticated trousers like what I'm wearing today from COS. And another brand which I have pieces from that have been favorites is COS. This is actually what I'm wearing today, but in navy blue. They are different materials. This one feels like it has more of a texture to it, whereas this one is more, one of them is more sort of like has some grip and then the other one doesn't. This is actually the version in taupe with the elasticated waistband and this one is in a size 32. I say that because the ones I'm wearing in the navy blue are in a size 34. I think where the material is different, there's also a discrepancy between the sizes. The navy blue ones being in the 34 fit me almost the same way as the 32 here, but I think it has to do with the material, where the navy blue version has a tendency to stick more to you, where it's got more of that smooth feel to it, whereas this one is perfect in 32 as it is. I also did get the matching blouses for both the navy blue and this because I fell in love with it and it really reminded me of, I want to say early 2000s Hermes runway. I think it's early 2000s, if not late 90s. So the minute I saw this, I knew I wanted it. I always love sort of like an elasticated waistband pair of trousers anyways. I also did have the Róhe pants in the wool material in black because they have different versions. I did end up sending it back just because at the time I felt like I loved them, but for the price they weren't filling the gap exactly the way I wanted to in the closet. Now there's pieces like this which I now, because I've tried those, can say that they are basically the same, especially this one because it has that sort of woolly feeling, though I don't think it's actually a wool composition, or at least not entirely. And then another piece that I've really been loving from COS is sort of like the matching coat to this sort of, does it look matching on camera? Anyways, they do match and then matches with the top. So I wear it as a monochrome outfit, but also the way they styled this online, I think it's a white shirt, black tailored trousers. It's so chic. And so I'm very happy with this. Again, I've picked these up quite a while ago. I do have the navy blue versions in the 32 because I got both sizes and then I was late to return the 32. So I will be putting them up on my Vinted account in case any of you are interested. But this is just epic. It's got that shawl collar. Even though I like this a lot, the only thing I would change about it is the buttons. I wish they were a little bit more discreet, especially because it's a belted version, so it would have been fine without the buttons. But it's actually because you can go like this and then there's a hole here, a button here, and you can have it closed off like this. And then ideally, I think the idea is you can use sort of like a rope belt or something just to give that kind of edge, I guess. I also do have another piece of outerwear similar to this colour, maybe a little bit of a different undertone, from Arquette. If you've been watching my page for a while, you'll be familiar with that. But I figured I wear that one so often, so having a longer version would work really well, and it really has. That's something I've really been loving in the month of October. And then before moving on to accessories and bags that I've I've been loving. These are the Bermuda shorts that I was talking about from Almada Label, and I ended up opting for a size small. I went between a size extra small and then sent back the extra small. I did the same thing with the shirts. I got a small and an extra small because with these pieces, they really are pieces that I want to be in my closet for a long time. So there's a few things that I have to consider. With this one, I felt like the extra small was nice, and bearing in mind these come with adjustable waist. I love that because it means that if I need this to be a little bit bigger, say if I'm a little bit bloated, or I just need it to be a little bit more low-waisted, just because that's how I want to style it on that particular day, and I can have it open or I can have it closed to wear it a little bit more high-waisted with a belt. I preferred that. The extra small felt like the normal version was already perfect. So the normal version was sort of like this, how it is tied once, but then once you tied it once, it was too tight, and I felt like I'm not really getting the advantage of the additional size that you get. So I opted for the size small, and I love that it has more of a relaxed fit. Also, I always have to consider that things don't stick to thighs or my bottom area, or even my waist, which goes out a little bit more. I don't like things sticking to it. That's what happened with the 32 of the navy blue trousers, and I always think that gives it away. Even if you spent so much money on a piece, if it doesn't fit you properly, it's so counterintuitive. Lastly, in the fashion category, I have 3 pieces that are accessories, 2 bags and a hat. This hat is a recent acquisition from El Capini. I recently got a coat from there, which is very Hermes-esque. You'll see it in the upcoming haul. It's just so beautiful. But this is something I wouldn't have expected to like, and the founder just added that in. Didn't expect to love it as much as I do. So I'll put it on just so you can see, but I don't know if it's going to do it justice. I like to, maybe it hasn't done it justice. It looks great in the mirror, but I don't know if it looks great here. I usually like to do it with my hair behind my ears as opposed to in front, just because that's a bit too much for me. But it's so, obviously you have to style it properly. For example, imagine this hat, the matching trousers. It's definitely one of those pieces that you have to style it properly, and it won't go with absolutely everything, but I love that it just adds a little something, and it's 100% wool, so it keeps your head really warm. But that's a piece that I've really been enjoying, and it's a recent one, and it's just different. And then the next 2 are bags. One of them is essentially the bag that I've been wearing the most, and then the other one is a newer acquisition that I am the most excited about. So this is the Totem belted tote bag. I've been wearing it so much. I think exclusively the only bag, or one of the only bags that I was really wearing almost every day, and it's in the croc effect leather. Now, I did also get a question in one of my videos somewhere where someone said that they had watched someone else online say that theirs scratched up pretty badly and they had to return it or something. I haven't had that experience at all with this bag. It's actually not scratched at all, and I've had it for quite some time, and I really don't baby my bags. I wear them. But I guess with this bag, it really lives under your arm most of the time, so unless you're wearing something that's really scratching your bags, I don't see why it would. But you can kind of see if I put it up close, there's not really scratches. The only thing that you'll find with Totem bags is that the Totem made in Italy does tend to come off, but I'm kind of used to that now. It's happened with the T-lock clutch and whatnot. I also just found something that is something I've been wearing a lot. It's a jewelry piece. It's a bracelet from Monica Vinader. Sorry, this is so all over the place, but I just saw that in there and figured I didn't even plan on mentioning this in the video, but I also don't have any jewelry on today, so this is one that I really like. That's that. In here there's just a bunch of stuff like socks, because when I go out I always make sure to take extra pair of socks, so that's how you know I've really been using that. And then the next bag is from Lifner, or Little Lifner, and it's called the Push Lock Clutch in this vintage brown colour. They also have it in black with gold hardware. They have a few. And I really do like this bag because it's just so minimal but perfect. I could have gotten it in the black with gold hardware, but I figured I already have black clutches with gold hardware, and I don't enjoy having duplicates or feeling like I have duplicates of things that I like, because then I feel like I have to pick between them. I would rather have something that's entirely different and then keep that as my favorite piece, kind of. But this, it's simple to open as well. It has the tissue paper inside. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of got quite a bit of that texture that gives it that vintage feel. So it's one of those bags that ages beautifully, and as you wear it more, and as if there's scratches or dents, it actually looks even better because it already has that vintage leather feel. So I really do like this, and I like that it's got that silver hardware. As you can see, I don't particularly mind gold, silver. I'll just match it up with my jewelry, and actually most of the time I just keep it the same, especially because, and I'll get onto jewelry in a second, but I wear these diamond Adil earrings. The actual setting is a yellow gold, but then the diamond, because of that, you can wear either or. Since I've already shared this bracelet, I figured I would share jewelry. The first thing is something you probably noticed I wear quite often, which is the combo that I wear. I will leave the link to them down below because I can't remember the name to this one specifically, but it's a high jewelry stud, and then this one, which I think is also from the high jewelry range, and then on this side it's Bea with the high jewelry stud. So you might know Adil is known for their modular jewelry pieces, so I always like to mix and match, and I have now quite a few of the attachments, so I just mix and match whenever I feel like it. Another jewelry piece that I've really been loving is actually one of my first pieces from MISSOMA, and it's this chain bracelet. I've been looking for this for quite some time because I saw a picture somewhere of the Cartier Panther, and it was a double Panther chain bracelet, and this is essentially that. I should show you how I do it. I don't actually have a watch on today, so I'll put this one on because it's usually the one that I do the stack with. I don't actually mix metals on my wrists, on the same wrist a lot. This is the Tank Française, and then I put this like that. That's a combination that I love doing quite a bit, and I haven't found it to scratch the watch because this is quite soft. It's not a really hard piece, it's a really soft piece. Now it might still scratch, but I don't, when it comes to jewelry, I don't mind it having some signs of wear. I'm not going to put that on because doing it one-handed is going to be a bit of a pain. Another jewelry piece that I also got recently that I've been loving, I say recently, I think it's been 2 months or 3 months since I got this. It's from Paola Siginolfi, and if you've been watching me for some time, there was a wish list video that I made, and I think I said something like I really would love to try pieces from this brand. So I finally got myself this ring. I can't remember the name of it, but I ordered it on Farfetch because I wanted it to come like next day delivery or however soon it was, and I think Paola Siginolfi directly from the website, I don't think there's the option for next day or anything like that, so Farfetch was the closest thing I had. So that's how it looks, and it's just such a statement piece. I love wearing it with my Bottega Veneta clutch with the tassel. It just adds that sense of something. I'm pretty sure actually when I wore my Saxon skirt and the Massimo Dutti piece, I wore this ring. On the topic of jewelry, I always get questions about the jewelry case, this one in particular, but I figured I would share the jewelry cases that I use. I have a few more because the ones I travel with, I don't travel with this one for example, but I do travel with this one. But then I also sometimes need my one for my watches, one for other pieces like smaller earrings. My Adil attachments are in a different jewelry box, so I carry quite a few, but this one I get quite a few questions about. It's this dark chocolate brown croc effect, and it's from Smithson of Bond Street. I've had it for quite some time actually, I think way over a year now, and it's actually considered a cufflink box, but when I got it on the Net-a-Porter site, it said jewelry box. I just checked yesterday and they do have one left in stock. I will also link a few that they make that are similar, but some of them are different, so they're not horizontal, they're vertical, and then they're about that small. So I'll leave them in the description box anyways, but the only thing I would say about this, you can kind of see I have also this. The reason I have this is just sometimes I need a reminder of which items to not put in here. My Monica Vinader jewelry tarnishes in here all the time. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Monica Vinader pieces in here and they're all tarnished, but then my Heaven Mayhem pieces are all fine. The reason I mention that, I love my Monica Vinader pieces, but it's just in case you have them and you're thinking of getting this for them. I wouldn't recommend you put it in here. This is the Aurelia vintage. My Panther ring is in here and it's fine. But when you read the card, it does say, our jewelry boxes and jewelry rolls are made with the finest Italian leather and nubuck lining. Due to the natural nature of these leathers, there may be instances of silver-plated and gold-plated silver jewelry tarnishing. Please ensure to follow the appropriate care for your jewelry as advised by the supplier. So they already mention it. It's not like a surprise. So I do carry around a cloth that you can clean it off, but it's not ideal, as you can clean it, but as soon as you put it back in here, it starts again. So I'm going to take out my Monica Vinader pieces from here and only house the ones that don't tarnish. It works for the majority of my jewelry, so it's fine, but it's just beautiful and I always get questions about it. And then the other one that I really love in my collection is from Sophie Billy Brahe, and it looks like this. It's black velvet with a tassel, and they have it in quite a few colors and sizes. It is this pink on the inside, but I'm trying to do it without dropping. It has this sleeve where you can house things. This is something I don't travel with just because the lid can come off, and also velvet, you can already see maybe that it's picked up whatever dust is floating around. So it's just one of those things that I don't travel with for that reason, but it's great in the dressing room. So these are the jewelry pieces that I've really been loving the past month or so. And then as always, I also have some skincare, maybe makeup in here, I think. These are some beauty products that I really have been loving. So, oh, and body care. So I'm going to start, I also have some fragrances in here. Fragrances, body care, skincare, things like that. So I figured I would share. Fragrances, I think it's quite obvious which have been my favorite. The MISSOMA Francis Curctogen A Pomme is one of my absolute favorites. You can kind of see it there. I've literally been using this every single day, but I just mix it with different things. So it's just lovely. I'm not going to go into detail about it because I have a whole video about underrated perfumes, and you can see this one in there. And then I also shared my La Prairie Cellular Energizing Mist, it's been one of my favorite for quite a few years now. And it's just nice to have it back in my collection. It's quite nostalgic in a sense. I could go into detail about what they smell like. They just smell lovely. I will leave the video link down below because I don't want this video to be too long about specific things, because I will make other videos where I can go more into detail. If you want to see more of the coats in my collection, I can go into more detail about that as opposed to making this video entirely about one piece. This is an Empties. I actually have two, which are, this one's almost gone. This is basically gone. This is the La Mer Hydrating Infused Emulsion. I've had this for honestly quite a long time, but it's just that La Mer products, once you open, if you read the back, it does have a 24-month on them. So I've probably had this for the 24 months now. So it's one of those things that also makes it worth it for me, because some products have, especially eye creams, they are always a 6-month after opening. So I have to be careful with not opening too many at the same time. But this one is my favorite, especially favorite cream from La Mer. I also have the soft moisturizing cream and the creme de la Mer. This is still my favorite. The soft moisturizing cream is really good, but for some reason it gives me sort of white bumps. So I need to just see if there's anything in there that I shouldn't be using, or if maybe I'm just using it too often. But this is the one that it works so well, and it gives you that glowy skin, and it's not too heavy. The creme de la Mer is amazing. Obviously it's on the heavier side. The soft moisturizing cream is literally the perfect consistency. It's just figuring out why it's giving me the bumps. And then this one is my absolute favorite, but I haven't used it in quite some time because it's just been sitting there for me to repurchase. There's still like maybe the tiniest bit left. And then this is the Orveda Vital Sap. And I don't know if you can see on camera, it's here. And I love this product. Orveda is actually quite an underrated brand for skincare. They are a French brand, but their product, or the brand, actually comes out of Monaco, if you didn't know. They make products that really just work. So if you're looking for products that maybe they don't have as much of the hype, but they really just work, just try Orveda. They also make like a silicone glove, but it comes with I think it's called like the hand trio or hand duo, and it's a hand mask and then the cream. You put the mask on your hands and then you put your hands in the silicone gloves, and then afterwards you put the cream, and it's a treatment that you do I think once or twice a week, and they just work. There actually was a time when I was exclusively doing Orveda products only, and my skin never looked so good. So the products just work, but it's just that with me, I like to experiment with different brands, so I can never just stick to one. But the Vital Sap is something that I use with other products from other brands. It still works really well. Another one similar to this is the La Mer treatment lotion, which is also an empty for me, but that is really good and I had discovered it before I discovered this. Another skincare product which I feel like is under the radar, I really like. I have to keep it in its box because it can get a little bit messy. It's the Problem Solver from May Lindstrom. So this isn't new. I don't know if you can see already as I take it out. It's a powder and it might mess up everything here. So it's a powder. I don't know if I can show you. Can you see? Okay, so it's this powder and you mix it with you put it into a bowl, an external bowl, and then you mix it with water. And when you mix it with water, it starts to bubble up and then you apply it onto your face. Have I been using this properly? 30 to 40 minutes or 30 to 45 minutes. I think sometimes I leave it on for a little bit less, but it warms up and then it becomes a little bit like a clay mask. But this stuff is amazing. I use it at the very end of a very busy week where I just need a full-on reset. This is one thing that I really like, and just the ritual of putting it into the bowl, mixing it with the water. I have a few products like that. I have one from 111 Skin and another one from Orveda, which is a cleanser, but this stuff is really, really good. And May Lindstrom as a brand is one that I spotted on Space & K, and when I looked at some of the reviews, there were videos from 6 years ago, 4 years ago of people being like, this stuff is amazing and so under the radar. And I feel like it still is under the radar, but it's genuinely really good. I also have an oil from them, moisturizer. I have a few products, but this one is my favorite. And I think this one is their kind of bestseller product anyways. I've been using this for quite some time already, but I'll keep you posted in upcoming videos once I finish it as well. But as of right now, after using it quite a few times, I really do like it and I notice the difference. Speaking of face mask, this is one that I love. This is open because I literally used this morning, but I still have the serum, so I'm going to keep it for tonight. It's from Agustina Spada and it's the Hydrogel face mask with TFC8, and I really do love this mask. I'm usually a 111 Skin mask, or there's another one from Current Body which I really genuinely love. I'm supposed to use it with an LED mask, but sometimes I just use it on its own and it's really fantastic. The price point is £25 for one sachet, which is definitely a premium price point for a face mask. So it's not one of those things that I use all the time, but when I want something, a little treat, I do get myself one of these. Also, I think you can do this more with the 111 Skin masks. I love them because they are really generous with the product inside. You get more than this amount of serum. You get enough serum to basically take you through 3 days. Morning and night. And then next up I have some body wash things. After this I'll show you some of the home bits that I've been loving. But I often get questions. I feel like some people are just interested in seeing my day-to-day things that I use, like shower gels. I've gotten so many questions about hair related stuff. I have recently actually stocked up on the things that my hairstylist uses on my hair, so I will finally do a hair routine because I was still perfecting it. Most of it really is just heatless curls, so I don't know if you can, I don't know if it's looking good, and I put the hat on earlier. Usually my hairstylist does her thing. She uses a brush, like a rolling brush, and she uses a Dyson hairdryer and she creates everything. I have the layers cut in already, so it's mostly about the layers being cut in. After that the styling is quite easy, and then once she's done it I just go in with overnight curls and just keep it like that. And then when I wash it, again the layers are already cut in. I now just need to figure out the whole brush rolling thing, but I have the products. But anyways, off topic, this is the bath oil. Now I actually use this in the shower. I use either the lid or just the palm of my hands. I pour a little bit, and then as long as your body is actually wet from the shower, you can use just that much for your entire body, or at least I can. Obviously you can use it as a bath oil. I personally like to use it as both and it's been fine. This just smells so amazing. It's called, if I didn't mention, Bath for the Senses, and it definitely is great for the senses if you want something super relaxing but not lavender, not the typical relaxing scents. This is wonderful. But this is Suzanne Kaufmann, if I didn't mention, and it's a brand that I've been wanting to try for quite some time, and I've used it a few times and it's still close to the top. And then in the shower I keep it quite simple and I use a duo. This is the Necessaire, the body wash and the body lotion in the Cypress Citron fragrance. And this is just what I use. And then lastly in this entire video I have some homeware things that I've been loving. These are some placemats that I got from Harrods, but the brand is Maison Margot, and it's this gorgeous burgundy and cream, and each placemat, it comes in a set of 4. So I got one set for now because I wanted to see how much wear I would get, or use I would get out of it, but also I wanted to see how it looked with the bone china set and the flatware set or cutlery set that I have, and so it looks really nice, it works really well. Now that I know that I like it, I can get a few more just to have at least 8, maybe 12. 12 is a bit much, but maybe 8 just to have. But you can see each one has a little bit of a different pattern but still the same theme, and so that's something that I picked up I think in September or something, and I've really been liking. And then this I picked up from Villeroy and BOCH, and it's the Villeroy and BOCH signature collection. It's the premium bone porcelain, and I prefer bone china, bone porcelain, because it tends to be less of a stark white. It has a bit more of like an off-white hue, though this one is porcelain, it's actually quite white. So I'm talking more about bone china, but this one has a gold rim and it's an ashtray. As you can see, I actually like to use this as a keep all, and I also keep my brooch in here, a few cute things, maybe a nail polish, and it's a little bit of a pink trinkets ashtray at the moment. But I like that the gold matches the bone china set that I like to use from Zara Home. I have to say, update on that, the rims have gone from gold to silver, which I love because, and I genuinely mean this, initially I was looking for the one with the silver rim and I couldn't find it, so then I opted for the gold rim, and then I thought this is perfect because it actually matches with one of the sets that I have from Christopher, which is the Aria with the gold rim, so I figured that's great. But recently, as I've gotten more wear out of it and just over time, it's lost that gold. Now you can easily go ahead and get it re-gold plated or re-gold leafing done to it, so I'll probably do that in the future. I'm not too fussed about it, to be honest. I actually do like that some of them have a silver rim now. I don't particularly mind, but this initially did match with that. Hermes does some with some really lovely patterns, but I figured I want something quite plain and simple so that I can do any colour inside. And just like that, we've come to the very end of this week's video. Definitely let me know if you enjoyed it, if you would like to see more of these at the end of every month, and if there's any particular videos that you want to see, do definitely let me know. Though I've already made my list of videos that I must make this month because I would like to stay consistent so that you guys can really enjoy this channel more, because I don't enjoy posting once and then leaving. But to my defense, that 1 hour 25 minutes really took it out of me. Whilst I will try my best to give you guys more of those longer vlogs, I hope you understand why there's not so many. One is time consuming, not just to film but also to edit. So I'll stick to these videos and I'll try my best to share those vlogs every once in a while so that you can still enjoy them, because I know I got so much feedback from you that you enjoy those longer style videos where you just basically spend time with me, whether I'm traveling or doing stuff. So I'll definitely be sure to keep that in mind. But with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this week's video, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon in my next one.